This map highlights the precise geographic vulnerability of the Strait of Hormuz. Inside the red bounding box, vital shipping lanes narrow to just a few miles wide. Pulling back shows why this physical bottleneck dictates the market. Most planetary oils squeezes through this gap. Control over that narrow stretch equals direct control over the worldwide economy. Whoever can restrict access to this water can immediately throttle the energy supply of entire continents. That physical reality turns the strait into a global tripwire. A localized dispute in this specific corridor forces an immediate, painful economic reaction from the global market. On Friday, the world thought it had caught a break. A temporary reprieve finally emerged from the constant threat of a total shipping lockdown. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, publicly announced on X that the strait would remain entirely open to commercial traffic. But he attached a strict condition to that promise. The safety of those commercial ships would only last as long as an active, agreed-upon ceasefire held. U.S. President Donald Trump responded on Truth Social shortly after, openly thanking Iran for keeping the waterway open. For a few brief hours, two adversaries successfully traded leverage, holding together a fragile diplomatic truce to keep the world's most critical supply line moving. But that initial sense of diplomatic stability completely fractured in a matter of just a few chaotic minutes. Just moments after his initial post, Donald Trump published a second statement on Truth Social, entirely erasing the tone of his previous thank you message. He explicitly declared that the United States Navy would continue its strict blockade on Iranian ports without interruption. This direct claim immediately crossed a heavily established Iranian red line. Looking at this technical view of the massive cargo vessels docked at the Imam Khomeini port complex, the stakes are clear. Iran had explicitly warned that lifting blockades on ports like this was the absolute prerequisite for allowing passage through the Strait of Hormuz. By publicly stating the blockade would remain active, the core condition holding the ceasefire together evaporated. This sudden, completely unvetted digital pivot was more than enough to immediately and entirely derail the diplomatic progress made earlier that Friday. The Iranian military did not wait for formal diplomatic clarification. They reacted instantaneously to the online confirmation of the ongoing blockade. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps quickly issued a statement, characterizing the U.S. Navy's continuing operations as an act of piracy. Within hours, the IRGC mobilized. They launched physical interceptions on the water, forcibly retaking control of the shipping lanes. State media then confirmed the new reality. The crucial waterway was officially returned to its restricted, lockdown state. A digital dispute over the exact terms of a ceasefire triggered an immediate tactical response, resulting in armed troops taking hostages on commercial vessels before the day was out. This aerial photograph shows the immediate physical fallout: an industrial tanker currently restricted and guided by tugboats. Free commercial navigation in the waterway is now functionally paralyzed. The United States has matched that physical escalation, with U.S. Navy warships maintaining their firm patrols on the open ocean to keep the port blockades perfectly intact. We are watching a severe disconnect between the medium and the consequence. Casual social media posts are directly dictating the movements of massive naval destroyers and armed militias. Because both sides activated their maximum military deterrence at the exact same time, the region is now locked in a stalemate that is far more entrenched than before the negotiations even began. Traditional statecraft moves deliberately, relying on slow, carefully vetted channels. Now, those old mechanisms are being severed by the raw speed of digital pronouncements. Geopolitical stability faces a modern threat. The sheer velocity of unvetted online communication can force a physical military reaction before diplomats even have time to pick up the phone. As naval blockades and military seizures respond directly to real-time posts, the buffer between a leader's second thought and a tactical escalation has effectively disappeared.